The massive station known as Omega 9 hung in the empty space between star systems. Inside its gleaming halls, 12 different alien species gathered around a circular table. Their forms varied widely, some with multiple limbs, others with scales or feathers, and a few that seemed more like living clouds than solid beings. High Chancellor Zorthalax, a tall blue-skinned alien with 4 arms and eyes that reflected light like mirrors, called the meeting to order. His deep voice echoed through the chamber. "The Council will now discuss the Earth problem," he announced. "Our sensors have detected what we feared most. The humans have developed faster than light travel decades before our models predicted." Murmurs spread through the room. A reptilian delegate named Sistoth slammed a clawed hand on the table. "We should contain them immediately. These humans multiply like parasites and consume resources at an alarming rate. They will spread through the galaxy unchecked." A softer voice spoke next. It belonged to Miraline, whose species resembled glowing jellyfish floating in personal atmosphere chambers. "We should welcome them. Our studies show humans are innovative and adaptable. They could bring fresh ideas to our aging civilization." The debate grew heated as more voices joined in. Some suggested monitoring Earth more closely. Others wanted to establish controlled contact. The most extreme voices called for the planet's destruction to protect galactic stability. While this meeting took place, the human starship Horizon drifted through uncharted space. Captain Lisa Harmon sat in the command chair, watching stars streak by on the main view screen. This was their 3rd test of the new faster-than-light drive. "All systems stable, Captain," said Engineer Samantha Kelly. Her hands moved quickly over her console. "The Burke drive is performing even better than expected." Lisa nodded with satisfaction. "Excellent work. How far have we traveled from Earth?" Science Officer Alan Wright checked his readings. "Approximately 12 light years, Captain. We're well beyond our previous record." Lisa was about to order another test when communications specialist Kate Daniels suddenly straightened in her chair. "Captain, I'm picking up a transmission. It's not human." The bridge fell silent. First contact was something they had trained for, but never expected so soon. "Can you decode it?" Lisa asked. Kate adjusted settings on her console. "It's not encrypted. Almost like they never expected anyone to be listening out here." She pressed a button, and strange voices filled the bridge. The crew listened in shock as alien beings discussed Earth's fate as casually as humans might discuss the weather. They learned of the Galactic Council, a group that had been watching Earth for centuries. "They're voting on whether to quarantine us or worse," Security Chief Greg Martinez said grimly, his hand moving to his sidearm out of instinct. Lisa stood up and paced the bridge. "They don't know we've developed this technology. They don't know we're listening." She stopped and looked at her crew. "We have an advantage." "What should we do, Captain?" Ellen asked. "Return to Earth with this information." Lisa stared at the star map showing the location of the transmission. The Council station was less than 1 light hour away at their current position. "No," she said finally. "If we go back, Earth will panic. They might make rash decisions. We need more information." She turned to face her officers, determination in her eyes. "Set course for the source of that transmission. We're going to listen in on this meeting up close." "Captain," Greg protested, "that's incredibly risky. We don't know their capabilities." "We stay cloaked and observe," Lisa said firmly. "Humanity deserves to know what's being planned for our future." As the Horizon changed course, the alien debate continued. None of the council members imagined that representatives of the very species they were discussing were about to arrive at their doorstep. And none could predict how drastically their plans were about to change. The Horizon moved silently through space towards Station Omega 9. The massive alien structure grew larger on their view screen, a spinning wheel of metal and light, with ships of various shapes docked along its outer ring. "Maintain cloak," Lisa ordered as they approached. "Keep us at a safe distance." Alan studied his readings with wide eyes. "Captain, I'm detecting at least 15 different atmospheric zones inside. The technology is centuries beyond ours. Kate continued monitoring the Council's communications. They're still debating. The vote seems split on what to do about Earth. Lisa watched the alien ships coming and going. An idea formed in her mind, bold and possibly foolish, but potentially game-changing. "New plan," she announced, causing her crew to look up in surprise. "We're going to dock with the station." Greg nearly choked. "Captain, that's risky," I know, Lisa said. "But right now, they're deciding our planet's fate without us at the table. That ends today." Samantha spoke up. "Even if we could dock without being detected, which is unlikely, what's the plan after that?" In their transmissions, they mentioned an ancient protocol, the right of petition. Any sentient species can request an audience with the Council. They just never expected us to show up and ask. The crew exchanged nervous glances, but nobody objected further. They trusted their captain. Lisa continued, "Samantha, can you match our airlock to their systems?" The engineer nodded slowly. "I think so. Their technology is advanced that follows logical patterns." "Good. Greg, you'll stay with the ship. The rest of us will make our presence known." Inside the council chamber, the debate had grown more heated. Zorthalax raised all four of his hands for silence. "We will now vote on immediate action regarding Earth. The options are containment, observation, or intervention." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. A small insectoid alien rushed into the chamber. "High Chancellor, an unregistered ship has docked at Port 7. The occupants are..." They appear to be humans. The council erupted in chaos. Some delegates immediately left their seats in panic, while others shouted demands for security. Zorthalax's eyes flashed dangerously. "Impossible. Their technology is not advanced enough for interstellar travel." The chamber doors slid open. 4 humans walked in, led by Lisa Harmon with her crew behind her. The room fell into stunned silence. Lisa stepped forward, her heart pounding but her voice steady. "Greetings, High Chancellor Zorthalax and esteemed council members. I am Captain Lisa Harmon of Earth. We come in peace and request formal recognition under the right of petition." The silence deepened. The aliens stared in disbelief at the humans standing before them. "Traxur," the Krell commander, finally broke the silence. "This is an outrage. How did they find us? How did they get here?" His scaled skin flushed a deep crimson as he turned to Zorthalax. "This proves they are more dangerous than we thought." Zorthalax studied the humans carefully. "You know of the right of petition. How is this possible?" Lisa met his mirrored gaze. "We have been listening to your transmissions. We know you've been watching Earth. We know you're voting on our future. We are here to represent ourselves in that discussion." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Miraline floated forward, her tentacles glowing with increased intensity. "They have mastered faster than light travel and found us undetected." Most impressive. Zorthalax's expression was unreadable. "The right of petition is indeed ancient law. It cannot be denied." He paused. "But this is unprecedented. Humans were not supposed to reach this stage for decades. Yet here we are," Lisa said firmly. After a long moment, Zorthalax nodded slowly. "Very well. The Council will hear Earth's petition." He turned to the other delegates. "This meeting will reconvene in one rotation. Security, escort our unexpected visitors to the diplomatic quarters." As guards surrounded them, Lisa caught the eyes of her crew. Their gamble had worked for now. They had bought Earth time and forced their way to the table. But the hardest part was just beginning. The diplomatic quarters assigned to the humans looked like a museum of mismatched furniture. Objects from dozens of worlds filled the room, clearly gathered in haste to accommodate unexpected Earth visitors. Lisa and her crew gathered around a table shaped like a spiral. They spoke in whispers, aware they were likely being monitored. "We have until the next rotation to prepare our case," Lisa said. "Kate, what have you learned about council protocols?" Kate scrolled through notes on her tablet. The right of petition gives us the floor, but we need allies. Council decisions require a 2/3 majority. Ellen looked thoughtful. The jellyfish-like delegate seemed sympathetic. Miraline, I believe. Good observation. Lisa nodded. We should focus on the benefits of an alliance with Earth. We need to show them we're not a threat but an asset. Outside their quarters, council members held emergency meetings of their own. In one private chamber, Zorthalax confronted Draxur. Your species guaranteed the humans would remain contained for at least another 50 cycles, Zorthalax said. This failure reflects poorly on the Krell. Draxur's tail lashed angrily. The humans are more resourceful than our models predicted. This only proves they need stronger containment or elimination. Miraline drifted into the room, her bioluminescent body pulsing with calm blue light. Perhaps we should consider that our assumptions about humans were wrong from the beginning. When the council reconvened, the chamber was packed. News of the human arrival had spread throughout the station. Many non-council aliens lined the observation balconies, curious to see these creatures from Earth. Lisa stood before the council, alone at first as protocol required. She took a deep breath. Esteemed council members, I stand before you representing not just a government or organization, but an entire planet of diverse people. We've listened to your debates about Earth's future. Now I ask you to listen to us. She gestured, and Samantha brought forward a small device. It projected a holographic display showing Earth's scientific achievements, art, music, and humanitarian efforts. Humans are explorers and builders by nature. Yes, we have conflicts. Yes, we make mistakes, but we learn and grow. We don't ask for your protection or control. We ask for partnership. Ellen stepped forward with data showing Earth's technological innovations. Our approach to problems is different from yours. Where you seek perfection, we embrace adaptation. This creates solutions your scientists might never consider. Several council members leaned forward with interest as Alan explained human approaches to energy production, medicine, and engineering. Even the skeptical delegates couldn't hide their curiosity. Kate then addressed the council about communication and cultural exchange. She played brief samples of Earth music and showed examples of art from different cultures. Many aliens watched in fascination. Diversity is our strength, Kate explained. On Earth, thousands of cultures exist side by side, each with unique perspectives. Imagine what we could learn from each other. Throughout their presentation, Lisa noticed Miraline's tentacles glowing brighter with apparent approval. Several other delegates showed positive signs too. But Draxur and his allies remained hostile, huddled together whispering. When the humans finished their presentation, Zorthalax spoke. This is unexpected. You have given us much to consider. Miraline floated forward. I propose we establish a formal diplomatic channel with Earth immediately. The humans have demonstrated both intelligence and peaceful intentions. Draxur hissed in disagreement. They have demonstrated deception and technological theft. How else could they have developed such capabilities without outside help? Several delegates murmured in agreement with the Krell commander. Lisa realized they needed something more convincing. A bold move. If I may, she said, there's something else we'd like to show you. Something that might change how you see humans entirely. The council chamber fell silent, waiting for what would come next. While the council waited, Kate whispered to Lisa, "What exactly are we going to show them? We didn't plan for this." Lisa smiled confidently, though her heart raced. "Just follow my lead." She turned back to the council. "With your permission, I'd like my communications specialist to access your historical archives." Zorthalax's eyes narrowed. "That is highly irregular." "So is our presence here," Lisa countered. "If we're to build trust, let it begin with truth." After some murmuring among the delegates, Zorthalax reluctantly agreed. Kate was escorted to a console at the side of the chamber, where she began working quickly. The council watched with varying degrees of suspicion and curiosity. While Kate worked, Samantha noticed Draxur quietly leaving his seat. She nudged Alan, who followed her gaze. The Krell commander was speaking urgently into a small device. "I think we need to hurry," Samantha whispered to Lisa. Kate suddenly straightened at the console, her eyes wide. "Captain, you need to see this." Lisa joined her, looking at the screen. Her expression changed from confusion to shock. "What have you found?" Alax demanded. Lisa returned to the center of the chamber, her face pale but determined. "According to your own records, Earth was not discovered by the Council. It was created by you." Gasps spread through the chamber. Some delegates looked confused, others uncomfortable. A few seemed angry that this information had been accessed. "Your archives contain a project file called Genesis Sphere dating back thousands of years," Lisa continued. "Earth was designed as an experimental planet. Humans were engineered using genetic material from multiple Council species." Maralene's glow pulsed with surprise. "Is this true, High Chancellor?" Alax's forearms moved in obvious discomfort. "That project was classified at the highest level. How did you?" "Your security encryption hasn't been updated in 300 years, Kate called from the console. Lisa pressed on. "We were never meant to develop space travel. We were an experiment in competitive evolution. Your scientists wanted to see what would happen if you combined traits from different species and left them to develop on their own." The council chamber erupted with shouting. Some delegates demanded verification, while others called for the humans to be removed. Draxur returned, flanked by several armed Krell guards. "This session is compromised. The humans must be detained immediately." Lisa stood her ground. "You're not afraid we'll be a threat to the galaxy. You're afraid we'll be proof that your experiment worked too well." As Krell guards moved toward the humans, several other delegates rose in protest. "The right of petition grants them diplomatic protection." Maralene insisted, her tentacles glowing fiercely. Fighting broke out in the chamber. In the confusion, Lisa signaled her crew to retreat. They backed toward the exit while Council security tried to restore order. "We need to get back to the ship," Lisa said quietly. "Greg should have the engines ready." They slipped into a corridor, but found their path blocked by Draxur and two guards. "You will not leave with this information," the Krell commander hissed. Before they could respond, a side door opened. A tall, thin alien with gold skin gestured urgently. "Humans, this way." With no better options, they followed their unexpected ally into a maintenance passage. "I am Thenley of the Thraxi delegation," the alien explained as they hurried through narrow tunnels. "What you discovered disturbs me greatly. The Council has kept many secrets, it seems. Why are you helping us?" Alan asked. "Because truth should not be hidden," Thenley replied. "And because I have studied Earth's history. Your people achieved in a few thousand years what took most species millions. I find this fascinating." They reached a junction of passages. Thenley pointed down one tunnel. "This will lead you to your docking port. Hurry." As they ran, Lisa knew that nothing would be the same. The revelation of Earth's origins had shattered the Council's unity, and somehow, humanity had to navigate the chaos that would follow. Back on Earth, Defense Secretary Frank Morrison stared at the emergency transmission that had just arrived. The message from Captain Lisa Harmon explained everything: the Galactic Council, the vote on Earth's future, and the shocking truth about humanity's origins. "Is this verified?" he asked the room of military and government officials. "Yes, sir," said a communications officer. The message came through on Captain Harmon's personal channel with all proper codes. Frank stood up straight, his mind racing. "Activate protocol safeguard immediately. This is not a drill." Alarms sounded throughout the underground facility. Doors that had remained sealed for years suddenly opened. In hidden bases around the world, similar scenes played out as humanity's secret contingency plan for first contact went into effect. In a classified hangar deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Claire Winters walked along the deck, watching as crews rushed to their stations. Before her stood three massive ships, the Defiance, Liberty, and Enterprise. each representing the pinnacle of Earth's classified space technology. "How long until we can launch?" she asked the chief engineer. 20 minutes, Admiral. The Burke drives are being calibrated now." Claire nodded. "Captain Harmon and her crew risked everything to warn us. We won't let them down." Meanwhile, at the United Nations in New York, representatives from every nation gathered for an emergency session. The Secretary General's face was grim as she addressed the assembly. "Today, we face the greatest revelation in human history. We are not alone in the universe, and we may have been created as an experiment by advanced alien species." Screens displayed the information sent by Lisa. Gasps and murmurs filled the chamber. "But we are no one's experiment now," the Secretary General continued. "We have prepared for this day. It is time to show the galaxy who humans truly are." In laboratories around the world, scientists led by Dr. Paul Howard activated a planetary shield system that had been built in secret over decades. Energy nodes buried at strategic points came online, creating an invisible protective barrier around Earth. "Shield at 40% and rising," Paul reported. "If anyone tries to attack Earth, they'll get a very unpleasant surprise." Back at Station Omega 9, Lisa and her crew raced through maintenance tunnels with Senlai. Alarms blared throughout the station as security forces searched for them. "Almost there," Senlai said as they approached the docking area. "Your ship is just ahead." They rounded a corner and saw the horizon. Greg stood at the open airlock, weapon drawn. "Captain," he called out when he spotted them, "we need to leave now. Station security is trying to lock us down." As they ran toward the ship, a blast of energy hit the wall beside them. Draxur and his Krell guards had caught up. "You will not escape with state secrets," the commander shouted, firing again. Zenlai pushed Lisa forward. "Go. I will hold them back." "Not without you," Lisa insisted, pulling the alien along. They reached the horizon as more security forces appeared. Greg provided covering fire while everyone boarded. Once inside, Samantha rushed to the engine controls. "Burke drive charging," she reported. "But they've activated docking clamps. We're stuck." Lisa turned to Zenlai. "Can you override the system?" The Thraxi hesitated, then nodded. "This will make me a traitor to the Council, but the truth must be known." Their long fingers danced across the ship's interface, inputting override codes. With a loud clang, the clamps released. The horizon broke free, just as Draxur's forces reached the docking bay. "Setting course for Earth," Alan announced. "Burke drive ready." "Wait," Lisa said. She opened a channel to the station. "Attention, Galactic Council. We are returning to Earth with the truth about your Genesis project. How you respond next will determine humanity's place in the galaxy. We were your experiment once, but now we choose our own destiny." As the horizon disappeared into faster-than-light travel, the message echoed through every chamber of Station Omega 9. The Council's secret was out, and the balance of power was about to change forever. The Galactic Council reconvened in emergency session. The chamber was tense, with delegates shouting accusations at one another. Zorthalax struggled to maintain order. "The humans have flooded with classified information," he announced when the noise finally died down. "This constitutes a serious breach of Council security." Draxur stood, his scales flushed with anger. "This is exactly why primitive species like humans must be contained. I propose immediate military action before they can spread these lies throughout the galaxy." Miraline's tentacles pulsed with bright colors. "Lies? So you deny the Genesis project exists?" A heavy silence fell over the chamber. Zorthalax's mirrored eyes reflected the faces of those watching him. "The Genesis project was initiated 12,000 years ago," he finally admitted. "Earth was seeded with genetic material from multiple Council species to study evolution in isolation. It was meant to be a purely scientific endeavor." The delegation from the Thraxi stood as one. Their spokesperson addressed the Council. "We note that several members of the Council, including the Krell, were aware of this project, while others were kept in the dark. This violates the Charter of Transparency. More accusations flew across the chamber. The council was fracturing along lines of those who knew about the project and those who didn't. Meanwhile, the horizon raced back toward Earth. Lisa and her crew gathered around Senley, who shared more details about the Genesis project. Your species was created with traits from at least 7 council races, the alien explained. The Krell contributed your drive for competition. The Thraxi gave their problem-solving abilities. Miraline's people added emotional intelligence. So we're basically a mix of alien DNA. Samantha asked, looking at her hands as if seeing them for the first time. You are much more than that, Senley replied. The experiment yielded unexpected results. Most created species develop along predictable paths. Humans are unpredictable. You took these traits and combined them in ways no one anticipated. Alan checked the ship's sensors. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Earth. Multiple ships are moving to intercept us. They're ours. On the main screen, Admiral Claire Winters appeared. Captain Harmon, this is Admiral Winters of the Earth Defense Fleet. Welcome home. We've received your transmissions and have mobilized accordingly. Lisa stared in shock at the 3 massive ships that appeared on their sensors. Admiral, I wasn't aware Earth had these capabilities. Few word, Captain. Protocol Safeguard has been our backup plan for decades. Your discovery of the Galactic Council accelerated our timeline. Back at Station Omega 9, the Council debate had deteriorated further when alarms suddenly blared. A junior officer rushed in. High Chancellor, our long-range sensors have detected multiple ships approaching from the Earth system. They appear to be warships with technology matching our own. Displays showed 3 large vessels accompanied by smaller craft, all heading directly for the station. The council members watched in stunned silence. Impossible, Draxur whispered. How could they have built a fleet without our knowledge? The largest ship transmitted a message that played throughout the station. Admiral Winters appeared on every screen. Attention, Galactic Council. This is Admiral Claire Winters of Earth. We have received information about your deliberations regarding our planet and your Genesis project. We are here to present our terms. Zorthalax signaled for a communication channel. This is High Chancellor Zorthalax. Your presence here is unexpected. What are these terms you speak of? Claire's expression remained firm. First, Earth demands recognition as a sovereign world with all rights of a council member. Second, we require full disclosure of all information regarding the Genesis project. Third, any species that attempts hostile action against Earth will face immediate consequences. To emphasize her point, the Earth ships moved into attack formation around the station. Draxur hissed with rage. This is blackmail. We will not be threatened by our own experiment. The experiment is over, Claire replied calmly. Earth is now a player in galactic politics. You have 1 rotation to consider our terms. As the transmission ended, the council broke into chaos once more. The balance of power had shifted dramatically, and no one knew what would happen next. The rotation period granted by Admiral Winters was nearly over. Inside Station Omega 9, the council remained deadlocked. Some delegates supported accepting Earth's terms, while others, led by Draxur, refused to negotiate with an experiment. Lisa had transferred to the flagship Defiance and now stood on its bridge beside Admiral Winters. The Krell won't back down easily, Lisa warned. Their entire culture is based on dominance. Claire nodded. We're prepared for that possibility. But a conflict benefits no one. On the station, Zorthalax called for a final vote. We must decide now. Do we accept Earth's terms, or do we risk confrontation? Before the vote could be taken, Draxur rose from his seat. This farce has gone on long enough. The Krell Empire will not be dictated to by lesser beings. He pressed a device on his wrist. Suddenly, hidden panels throughout the council chamber slid open. Armed Krell soldiers poured into the room. What is the meaning of this? Zorthalax demanded. A correction of course, Draxur replied coldly. The Krell have maintained peace in this galaxy for millennia by ensuring troublesome species remain contained. Humans have proven too dangerous to exist freely. Miraline and the other delegates were surrounded by Krell guards. Outside the station, a fleet of Krell warships emerged from stealth mode, their weapons trained on the Earth vessels. Aboard the Defiance, alarms blared. Multiple ships decloaking. Called out the sensor officer. Krell destroyer class, weapons hot. Shields up, Claire ordered. All ships, defensive formation Delta. The Earth ships moved with surprising precision, arranging themselves in a protective pattern. Lisa stared at the tactical display. They outnumber us 3-1. But they don't outmatch us, Claire replied. Earth has been preparing for this possibility since we detected the first alien signals decades ago. Draxur's face appeared on the main screen. Surrender your vessels and return to Earth for containment procedures. This is your only warning. Claire stood tall. Earth does not recognize your authority, Commander Draxur. We know this is not a sanctioned council action, but a Krell power grab. Very well. The transmission cut off. The Krell ships opened fire. Energy beams slashed through space toward the Earth vessels. But instead of causing damage, the beams seemed to be absorbed by the shields. Redirecting energy to weapons, announced Samantha, who had taken the engineering station. Shield technology holding. Claire smiled. Fire countermeasures. Target weapons and propulsion only. The Earth ships responded with precise shots that disabled 2 Krell vessels without destroying them. The battle had begun. Inside the station, chaos erupted. The Krell coup against the Council had caught most delegates by surprise. But not everyone was unprepared. Myraline's tentacles suddenly emitted an intense flash of light, temporarily blinding the Krell guards. Fen-Lai and other Thraxi delegates produced hidden devices that disrupted the Krell's communications. The Council will not fall to military dictatorship, Zorthilax declared, rising to his full height. Hidden weapons emerged from all 4 of his arms. What had begun as a diplomatic summit was now a 3-way battle. The Krell forces against the Earth fleet outside, and against the United Council members inside the station. Greg, who had remained on the horizon, maneuvered the smaller ship through the battlefield toward the station. Captain, we're in position to dock and extract friendly delegates if needed. The space around Omega 9 lit up with weapons fire. The Earth ships demonstrated tactics never before seen in galactic combat, using coordinated maneuvers that confused the more numerous Krell vessels. They're adapting to our attack patterns, a Krell officer reported to Draxur. Every strategy we employ, they counter within moments. Draxur snarled in frustration. Impossible. They're too primitive for such advanced tactics. But the evidence was before his eyes. The humans were not only holding their own against a superior force, they were winning. Inside the station, Zorthilax fought his way to the central control room. If we can access the station's defense systems, we can end this madness. The future of Earth, and perhaps the entire galactic order, now hung in the balance of this unexpected battle. Zorthilax reached the central control room with Miraline and Stenley following close behind. Krell soldiers lay stunned in their wake. The station's defense grid can end this conflict, Zorthilax said, his 4 hands working quickly across the control panels. But the Krell have locked us out. Samantha's voice came through Senlai's communicator. I might be able to help. Human hackers have a different approach than what the Krell would expect. Patch her through to the main system, Senlai said. Outside, the battle had reached a stalemate. The Earth ships had disabled several Krell vessels without destroying them, showing remarkable restraint. But more Krell reinforcements were arriving. We can't keep this up forever, Lisa told Admiral Winters. We don't need to, Claire replied. We just need to hold until. The station suddenly hummed with energy. Massive defense cannons that had been dormant for centuries came to life, but they didn't target the Earth ships. Instead, they fired precisely at the Krell fleet's weapon systems. In the control room, Samantha's voice sounded triumphant. Got it. I redirected the targeting systems to disable rather than destroy. A station-wide communication system activated. Zorthalax's voice echoed through every chamber and ship. This conflict ends now. By emergency powers vested in the High Chancellor, I order all Krell forces to stand down. Draxur, cornered in the council chamber by loyal security forces, snarled in defiance. The Krell Empire does not recognize your authority. We will. His communication was cut short as the station's internal security systems activated, placing him in a stasis field. 3 days later, representatives from Earth and the reformed Galactic Council gathered in the restored council chamber. The Krell delegates were noticeably absent, their species now facing sanctions for attempting to overthrow the council. Lisa, now wearing formal diplomatic attire, stood with Admiral Winters and Secretary Morrison as Zorthalax addressed the assembly. Today marks a historic moment. For the first time, we welcome a species of our own creation as equals. He paused. Perhaps more than equals. The humans have shown us that our experiment yielded something we could not have predicted. A species that took the best traits of all our kinds and forged something new. Miraline floated forward. I propose that Earth be granted immediate membership in the Council, with all rights and privileges. The vote was unanimous. Secretary Morrison stepped forward to address the Council. Earth accepts membership, but we propose changes to the Council structure. No more secrets, no more experiments on developing worlds, and a new commitment to cooperation rather than control. The reforms would be complex, but the groundwork was laid that day. As the formal ceremony concluded, Lisa found herself standing with Xenlai at a viewport overlooking the station's dock, where Earth and alien ships now sat side by side. "What happens to the Genesis project now?" she asked. "It will be reproposed," Xenlai replied. "Instead of experimenting on unwitting species, it will become a collaborative scientific venture." Many council races are fascinated by how humans combine their traits in unexpected ways. Lisa smiled. "We have a saying on Earth. The child often surpasses the parent." A wise saying, Xenlai agreed. And perhaps that was the point all along, to create something greater than ourselves. 1 year later, the station formerly known as Omega 9 had been rebuilt and renamed Concordia, meaning harmony. It had become the center of a new galactic confederation, with Earth playing a key role in its leadership. On the observation deck, Lisa, now Ambassador Harmon, watched ships arrive from dozens of worlds for the inauguration ceremony. Beside her stood her original crew, all now serving in diplomatic roles. When the aliens gathered to discuss Earth's future, do you think any of them imagined this outcome? Kate asked. Lisa shook her head. Probably not. But that's the thing about humans. We've always been good at surprising people. As stars shone through the viewport, representatives of 100 worlds prepared to sign a new galactic charter. Humanity had not only found its place among the stars, but had helped reshape the very order of the galaxy. The experiment had ended. The true journey was just beginning.